he'll be back whenever.
Yeah, you did Ross tell you about Dita?
No,
No.
what?
Well, the see is my auntie when I never knew Mark, but I knew Stan Hart. You know who Stan Hart is?
Yeah, well, no, but go on.
Well, Stan Hart was the one that they blamed on the Beaumont children back on the day,
Right.
and all that, and then it come about the Adelaide Oval children, which
Yeah,
is mentioned by Mark Marshall about his father and his grandfather. Well, see, the thing is, no one knew this, but Mark's grandfather, Papa Hart, moved up to here in 1999 when I was up here, and I met him through my auntie because he lived in the same street.
yeah,
And anyhow, he told me about where I told you about the Beaumont children where they were and all that.
yeah.
I think I did mention about that before. About where the Beaumont children were. No.
No.
No. Okay. Oh, okay. Anyhow, so he told me where the Beaumont children was. They're at 16 Sussex Street down at Glenelg. That's where the Beaumont children are. And it was he's saying it wasn't him. He's saying it was his father. His son-in-law, Michael Kent Marshall, which is Mark Marshall's father. So anyhow, I actually he told me about Louise Bell as well, and how Louise Bell was taken by Mark Marshall's father.
Yep.
So we found out that Dita Fennick is now sitting in jail over Mark Marshall's father.
Yep.
And so I said to Bevan the other month, because I told him about it, because I didn't realise Dita was there. I thought Dita was dead. And Dita said, no, he's in here. I said, well, I got some interesting news. And I said to him, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write to Mark Marshall and see if Mark Marshall would contact me. And guess what happened?
Yeah,
He called me.
yeah,
So I said to him, I explained how I knew his grandfather, and I mentioned some names. He goes, yep, that's, well, you have to know him if you know all that. I said, yeah, I do. And I said, now, my understanding is that someone's in jail, blah, 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 for what your father's did. He goes, yeah, that Dita Fennick's. And then I said, okay, well, what I'll do is tomorrow, can you ring me back tomorrow, and I'll get a recorder and I'll record the conversation. Are you willing to say what happened? He goes, yep. So the next day he rang me in the morning and he explained exactly what happened, how he met Louise at the tennis courts during the weekend they were down, and blah, blah, blah. And that he's the one that actually tried to open the screen window for Louise to hop out, but she pushed the screen through and she fell out onto Mark, and then they went out on the road, and then next minute the father had come down the road and found them two in the street talking, and the father then punched him in the head, Mark Marshall, and then told him to get home, which at that time they lived at, his other grandfather, not Papa Hart, but Papa Marshall's house down at, he said, Saltash Avenue at Christie's Beach. And so he ran home, and Mark Marshall's father was there for Louise Bell. And then Louise Bell then happened to go missing. And where she is, she's at the just off the car park of where the auntie lives, which is off of Fremantle Street down at Noongar. So she's buried on the cliffs, just down from the cliffs to the beach. So that's what Mark. It was funny. Stan Hart told me that his son-in-law buried. It sounds like I reckon he was there as well because he just seemed like he knew more about it being there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I didn't say anything because my auntie told me to stop, talking to him and, he's a nice bloke and all this sort of shit. He was in the army and all this fucking carrying, blah, blah, blah. But then also, he rang me back sometime later, or about a few days later, and we discussed about Rihanna. And I got a confession from him that that the police had come into the Adelaide Remand Centre while Mark was in jail and demanded where his father had put Rihanna, and apparently he's saying that he prior to that, a few weeks before that, something about that he was seeing a girl with his father and drove up bloody, I don't know what happened. I couldn't really work out what he was saying, but drove up and his father got out and spoken to this schoolgirl, and Mark asked who it was, and he says, none of your fucking business, blah, 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 and all this sort of shit. So a few things he didn't make sense about, didn't he?
I've got to go anyway.
When are you going to ring me back? When are you going to ring me back?
I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah,
Tomorrow morning.
Yeah, ring me tomorrow morning.
Catch you after, all right?
All right, see ya.